Okay, hello everybody. I'm meteorologist Ashley Smith here in the First Alert Streaming Center on this Tuesday, and going to be another cool day. We know outside, I guess I'll go back to this. Outside, we did see some clear skies a little bit ago. Right now, the clouds already starting to increase yet again, and we expect that trend will likely continue throughout the day today. In other words, the clouds will kind of be taking over the sky more so than those peaks of sunshine. But the big story tonight, I would say, is the fact that we have a frost advisory and a freeze warning in effect across parts of the tri-state. So we're going to talk about that. And look ahead to your weekend forecast and, of course, the blink forecast. So another kind of busy weekend here in the tri-state. So we'll talk all about that. I want to show you first, one of our photographers took this time-lapse video. I have it posted here on my Facebook page and on my Twitter. I tried to post it to our app, and for some reason it does not like it. I even downsized it. I don't really know why it doesn't want to do that. But anyways, look at how beautiful it was when those clouds rolled in. And then I think what you're seeing here, you can almost see like a lower layer of clouds. And I think that's actually the sun, or I'm sorry, that was actually some of the rain that moved in earlier this morning, kind of different layers of clouds though that you can see there. So pretty incredible what was kind of happening. So in the Purple People Bridge lit up, I believe this is for blink. I mean, I can only assume. Could be a little bit ahead of Christmas. Of course, they do often put those lights up for the Christmas season, but I think it's for blink because, of course, this year blink does go into Newport for the first time ever. So I would think that the Purple People Bridge is going to be a popular path to take to check out blink between the two cities and states this weekend. So what's happening outside right now, though, it's just, it was really neat, though, too, because at times it looked like it was going to be a sunny day and then the clouds rolled back in, which is what we thought was going to happen. For a minute there, I was like, oh, no, maybe our forecast is totally off, but it wasn't. The clouds did move back in. So just want to make sure everything's live. It appears that everything is right on my end. All right, let's dive in. So right now, we're already starting to see more showers build in from the north. It still, for the most part, is light, but definitely heavier than we had yesterday and heavier than maybe we've even had at times today as well. So especially here in Fayette, Union, Franklin counties, you're going to see some of that heavier rain near Brookville Lake, starting to see that heavier rain near Connorsville as well. So those are some of the heavier showers that we have outside right now. Nothing, again, that's going to cause too many issues, but I do think that's enough, especially in Indiana, to cause some puddles on the roadways. So could be some slowdowns. I think this is good timing, though, because the volume is down. So if this had happened, at 7 or 8 a.m. might have been a different story. We're going to see more rain move in from the north throughout the day today, so especially throughout the afternoon hours, I should say. So not done with the rain just yet, but any kind of additional rain that we see today should not be a very big deal, just scattered light showers across the region. Notice that the clearing not too far away, and once those clearer skies arrive here, that's going to allow the temperature to drop. And what I think is going to happen with all of this rain that you see south of Cleveland, it's all going to kind of head that way because there is this kind of counterclockwise flow with this. And then these showers are what we'll see, and then that's it. So once we get through kind of right there, we should be dry. So what we can do here is actually time out the end of the rain, when we would see the end of the rain. If I can find the right thing to track that. Okay. Now, let me see. This is probably not moving very fast. So the end of the rain right about there, that would be in Cincinnati by 7 p.m. And I've been saying until about 6 p.m. I think you see the chance for rain. So that times out pretty well because I slowed it down just to, this way we know by then we'll be dry because I think it's going to move a little bit quicker. But either way, we're going to be seeing off and on showers into the afternoon hours, and then it turns cold. So, and I'm going to make sure that I pull up wind gusts because so far we haven't had too many strong gusts, but I want to make sure that that stays the case today. So I want to make sure that we show that, which is coming up a little bit later. Okay, so back to where we are right now. So tonight we do have a freeze warning. This is the warning, so it's this purple color. That's for Fayette, Union, Franklin counties in southeastern Indiana, Butler, Warren, Clinton, Highland, Claremont, Brown, Adams in Ohio, and then in northern Kentucky, Bracken, Robertson, Mason, Lewis. So those are the freeze warnings. That's where temperatures could be near or below freezing, and then the frost advisory for everyone else. And by the way, if you're in the freeze warning, you're also going to see frost. So basically, temperatures will fall down into the 30s for everyone this evening. And for some of us, we could see that frost form. For others, we could see temperatures below freezing. I don't necessarily think it's a killing frost or freeze, just because I don't think we drop below freezing long enough. You have to have several hours of temperatures below freezing for it to be a killing frost or freeze, and I just don't see that happening. But either way, I would definitely, some of that more tender vegetation, maybe if it's in pots, bring those inside, or use some sort of a blanket to cover those, because it is going to be downright cold tonight. Let me make sure. National Hurricane Center has been updating this often, so let me make sure that I have the latest information here. Yes, 30 and 60. So 30% chance of this becoming a named system in the next 2 days, a 60% chance in 7 days. Basically, it's moving almost straight west, west-northwest, approaching the Leeward Islands later this week. So portions of Puerto Rico, even Cuba going to be impacted here later this week. And of course, we'll have to watch to see if it does impact Florida or if it moves into the Gulf. So still some uncertainties there, but something that National Hurricane Center is watching. There's another disturbance, but not really any chance of it developing anytime soon. But you see this kind of yellow area here near Mexico. So just a couple of things that we'll be watching in the coming days. But this storm system, if it does become a named storm, would be Nadine. That's our next named storm system. Okay, taking a look outside right now. And we are seeing, we do see some sunshine. We do see some blue in the sky, but maybe like 2 hours ago, this was completely blue. I mean, it was almost completely clear, but now the clouds have moved back in, and this is kind of what we're going to deal with for the rest of the day today, along with at least those sprinkles that will be possible too. So we do have some wind gusts. I figured they would pick up later today. So breezy winds expected today. Gusts maybe 20 miles per hour, not quite as bad as yesterday, but still going to be a breezy day. You can see here on the forecast model showing 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts possible. We do the same tomorrow, but during the overnight hours, those winds die down, and that allows the temperature to drop and the frost to form. But you're looking at gusts of 20 to 25 miles per hour again tomorrow. Thursday, it's much calmer, it's quiet, it's dry, and we'll see warmer weather starting to move back into the area on Thursday as well. And because of those calm winds during the overnight hours, I think that's another reason why Thursday could be even colder. Thursday, the frost could be more serious than what we're going to see tonight. Temperatures right now in the 40s and 50s. So 47 degrees in Hamilton, 50 in Harrison and at CVG, 51 at Lunken. But notice how already right now those temperatures are colder in those areas with the freeze warning. So temperatures are colder now. They're not going to rebound very much today, and then they're just going to be able to drop even further tonight. So that's why there's the difference between the freeze warning and the frost advisory across our region. At CVG right now, again, 50 degrees, a little bit of blue in the sky, but a lot less than there was at one point. And winds out of the north around 7 miles per hour. And we do anticipate that dry air, with the dew points in the 30s, could get up into the low 40s later this afternoon with that chance for rain. But, it was a little bit of a damp feeling in the air. You probably noticed that last night and this morning, and that does make it feel cooler for sure. So, okay, so yeah, something that you may notice as you step outside. All right, let's go into an event happening tomorrow. So we talked about the supermoon yesterday because you were able to see it. Today it was a little bit too cloudy. We couldn't see it, but it will be full Wednesday into Thursday. So Dean Regas is hosting an event. I mentioned this yesterday during 19 at noon, but didn't have the graphic yet, or I didn't know that I had the graphic. It turns out I actually did. But anyway, so temperatures will be in the 50s throughout that event from 6 to 8 p.m. at Alt Park. But you don't need anything special to look at it. But if you do have a telescope, it would be even cooler. But it's much closer to the Earth right now. That's why it's a supermoon, and so it appears larger. So check that out. Take a picture and share it with us, because I do think it's going to be a lot clearer tomorrow night, and then again Thursday night too. Especially if you're at Blink and you see the supermoon. It should be a pretty cool sight. So scattered showers through this afternoon until about 6, 7 p.m. and then we dry out. We see those skies clear out. Temperatures are cold tomorrow morning in the 30s. They're in the 30s again. Thursday morning is another very cold morning Thursday as well. And then for the weekend, we do start to see warmer weather. Rainfall totals through today, 1/10 to maybe 1/4 of an inch. Florence showing 3/10, so closer to 1/4 of an inch. But most of us, it's very little amounts of precipitation. I don't think it's going to make a big impact across the area, but you are going to have some wet weather at times this afternoon. 7-day forecast, we'll take this full. Highs only in the 50s through Wednesday, and then we start warming things up back into the 60s Thursday and Friday. Remember, though, for Blink, it is an evening event. Of course, want to see those lights at nighttime. So if you are going to Blink, those temperatures will already start to drop. So grab those extra layers as those temperatures fall down into the 30s and 40s during the overnight hours. Actually, I guess mostly 40s. But the highs, this weekend looks really, really nice with those highs in the 70s, back to above normal temperatures, and it will remain dry as well. We don't see any chances for rain there on the 7-day forecast. If we do go beyond the 7-day forecast, it's much of the same. No rain there either. So likely those drought conditions will persist or worsen depending upon your location. So just something to keep in mind. It doesn't look like we'll have spectacular fall foliage this year because of the drought, and because we had such warm weather later in the summer, and you need kind of those cool nights. So unfortunately, I think we're just gonna have to deal with that again. You have to travel to see the good fall foliage, I would say. Okay, let's check out any of your questions. Okay. I would be interested. I don't think that we have any cameras in these areas. At least we probably have some traffic cameras, but we don't have any cameras where we can see if that rain, how heavy it is. But either way, just prepare for some wet roads if you're going to be out and about this afternoon. I wouldn't say that it's going to be enough to slow down traffic, but it's definitely going to be enough that the roads could be wet in spots. So again, the timing pretty ideal, because I think by the time most folks are hitting the road to head home, a lot of that rain is already starting to wind down. Okay. Hello, Jeff. Good evening. It's noon. Okay. Oh, there was another event that I wanted to show. The zoo has that new, here we go. The jack-o'-lantern glow at the zoo. I haven't been out there yet, but yeah, I've seen some pictures and some video and stuff, and it looks really cool. Temperatures will be in the 50s at 5 o'clock. It says doors open at 6. I wonder if you're already at the zoo, you just stick around. I would assume that that's the case. But temperatures drop into the 40s later this evening. So should be really nice conditions for the jack-o'-lantern glow. Yeah, so it says it's an immersive walkthrough experience for more than 5,000 hand-carved pumpkins and fall displays along a half-mile trail in the zoo, making it the largest of its kind in the tri-state area. That is so cool. Yeah, these pictures are amazing. So it does say, well, it says the sun sets around 7 p.m. That's true. So yeah, probably going to look cooler and spookier if you wait. Sunset tonight, by the way, is before 7 p.m., 6:59. So just goes to show you we're really diving into fall. We changed the clocks on November 3rd. I figured it was the first weekend in November, but so. So John, no. Indian summer would be when we get warm weather later in the fall. So we would have to rebound back probably into the 80s. I would actually say probably this past weekend would have been considered Indian summer, even though it didn't last terribly long, although most of last week was warm. That's more of Indian summer. Like you have to, typically they say it's after that first frost if you get a warming trend, but I don't really see that happening again. I think it's just after you get kind of a cold snap, whether it's with or without frost, and then you get warmer weather, that's the Indian summer. So yeah, this frost, I don't think that, at least here. Now, of course, you're in the freeze warning in Columbus, but the frost advisory, let's see. Yeah, it just says frost could. I just don't think it's long enough for it to be a killing frost, but I do think that some tender vegetation could definitely suffer in these conditions. And then the freeze warning, they're saying temperatures could be as low as 30, which is true. We did see the temperatures on our models saying the same thing as well. This means, as a runner, some of these water fountains are going to get closed off or turned off soon for the winter, and I hate that. I look forward to those water stops. Okay. Yeah, let me go back to what it looks like our temperatures will be in the morning. Just so you can see who has kind of the coldest air and why some are in the freeze and some are in the frost. Okay, so the freeze warning is basically in these areas and the frost advisory is these areas. So you can see that in some of these spots, those temperatures are closer to freezing or below. 30 Batavia, 30 Falmouth, 31 Maysville. So that's definitely going to be colder. Part of that is the terrain. Part of that is because they'll clear out sooner. And so it'll allow those temperatures to drop. The winds have a big factor in that as well. But either way, tonight is cold for everyone. So whether you're worried about plants or not, just know that you're going to wake up to some really cold conditions tomorrow morning. And again, Thursday morning, probably equally as cold. I've heard a lot of talk, especially on the radio, about, are you going to turn on your heater, your furnace? Maybe not a bad idea to test it out in this. And then that way, if it's working for when we really do have the, really cold air, more winter-like conditions. So it might not be a bad idea. I know it seems early for some folks to turn it on. Some people like to wait until November. But it might not be a bad idea to just give it that test. That would be my advice. I'm no heating and air expert, but common sense would tell you testing it out before it's too cold. Because then when we get that first cold snap, then everybody has to call their heating and air person if something's wrong, and then they get backed up, and then you have to pay extra because they have to come off hours or on the weekend or whatever. So just try to avoid that. All right, I think. Yes, the lowest we've ever been in October. I can find that. Okay, here we go. The low today, just FYI, is the record low is 28. Looks like it's in the 20s. 22. Oh, 20. Wow. I wonder if we have any teens. Yeah, 19. Wow. 19 in 1976 on October 28th. So yeah, I mean, so that 16, oh my gosh, I keep getting colder. 16 on October 27th in 1962. That might be. 16 might be the coldest. Yeah, So yeah, it can be a lot colder. Yeah, and we're not talking about record lows. As I mentioned, those are in the 20s right now. So, but yeah, we haven't had temperatures in the 30s, obviously, for a long time. What is this doing? Okay. Yeah, 45 is the coldest we've been so far this month. And I think for September it was the same. Probably have to go to, let's see. I'll check. I'm trying to see the last time we had temperatures in the 30s. Probably April. Yeah, it looks like April. April 25th, we were at 37 degrees. So somewhere around there. All right. Okay, I think that's all that I have for you. I will be back on at 3 and 4. Our newscasts are normal today. They're on the air. Yesterday we had to stream some of them because of baseball. So, yeah, I will see you on TV at 3 and 4 o'clock this afternoon. And then Chief Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer will take over from there and have your streaming show at 7:15 this evening as well. So stay cool. Protect those plants if you want to tonight because it will be quite cold with frost and freeze possible. All right, I'll see you later this afternoon.